You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about real life stuff that we are going through right now. We are plowing snow, making that dough, finally making it happen. We got some pretty good snow over the weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up here in Michigan. Doesn't seem like the system has really turned off that much. We've been getting a little bit of clipper systems coming through and, just some banding, little quarter-inch, half-inch stuff on Tuesday, on Monday. Nothing too crazy, but definitely a wild wind chill. And it has been blissfully, whatever the word is. It's been very freaking cold, folks. Okay, it's been really cold here. And what we're actually doing on today's podcast, I wanted to go through. I'm going to pull up my note sheet here. I'll talk to you guys for just a little bit about some back and forth, some Q&A, and then also just some conversation about customer expectations for snow plowing and snow removal, and just a little debrief even over the snowstorm and how we handled a couple situations. A lot of you guys have been dealing with the snowstorm before ours that cut through the Midwest to the New England states, the Northeast. And then this one was a wallop for the Midwest, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, so on and so forth. So it's been a really interesting snowstorm because it's the first snow event actually of 2024, like actually accumulated snow. And usually this is an interesting time because you get some complaining, some fussy customers, some crazy expectations, missed expectations. Maybe you got some feedback and maybe it wasn't all positive. Real life business. I mean, I love to have this like perfect business model where it's like, hey, here's what you're supposed to do. Here's what you say you're going to do. That's what you do. Everybody's happy. And you make money. In a real world is like, here's what you're supposed to do. Here's the expectation. Here's what you do. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's, maybe you come up short. Maybe the customer's expectations were a little high or too high, for what they're paying for. And so there's sometimes has to be these conversations that have to go on. And we've had a couple of those. Nothing awful or toxic or bad. It's just customer service, at the end of the day. And so that's what I wanted to go through. A couple personal examples, and then also a couple conversations I had with some buddies, and just some observations. And so this podcast episode, I thought it maybe be a little just a therapeutic, session, a little damage control with any of you guys that are out there as well. You maybe it's your first snow season under the belt, and your first snow event under the belt, and now we know how to have an approach moving forward. People know what to expect. Customers know what to expect. You know what to expect. Your employees know what to expect. Maybe your first guys that are brand new to all this stuff and they've never walked on ice and snow and tried to shovel or throw down ice melt, or how actually cold -10 degrees actually is. Maybe your truck had some issues and you never had any issues like this before in the summer, 4x4 not engaging or stuck engaged, I've had both. So that's what I want to talk about today's podcast. I wrote down a bunch of notes, and then also somebody was DMing me back and forth and had a couple thoughts of their own. They said, "Hey man, how do you handle this, this, and this?" And I'm like, actually, bro, I'm doing a podcast exactly on those topics in the next 24 hours. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a gentleman named Griffin for some of these submissions as well. Let's jump into it really quick before we do. I do want to say that any of you guys that are part of the Link membership, just a little FYI, a little heads up in case you missed it. We got him. We secured the bag. Mr. Mark Bradley, founder of LMN. He is going to be joining us 7 p.m. Eastern for our private Facebook group and community that is growing like crazy, 145 plus members, growing every day. Literally, folks, if you have not checked it out, I'm telling you, you're missing out. There's just so much good stuff going on in there. Tons of great conversations, people sharing notes, building friendships, building relationships, asking questions about how to bid sites. We've had simple 101 type questions to some pretty, heavy questions as well about bidding or dealing with customer situations or new equipment ordering or growing your company. It's just been such a fantastic resource out there in the marketplace. We do a weekly live stream Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. They have a couple different themes throughout the month, 3 or 4 live streams a month, obviously. But one of the big things when starting the group, we did that poll, and some of you guys participated in that. I think we had about 300 people participate in that poll. was, what do you guys want to see? Like if we made a private Facebook group, there's a couple good groups out there. There's a couple good masterminds out there. God bless everybody with what they're doing, of course. But I just said, hey, this is a little bit different. It's for long guys, snow guys. We want to help you guys grow. Maybe if you're at 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, and you want to go to 3, 4, 500 grand or to $1 million, 2 million. Let's all do that together. Let's grow together. That's where that community aspect really comes into play, where we can share notes. Anyway, I asked people, said, hey, what do you want to see in that group? And overwhelmingly, a lot of folks said interviews and Q&As with other big business owners, like $5 million plus companies. So this is our brand new group. We launched over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. Around Thanksgiving, had 100 people join that week. And we've been growing another 10, 20 people every week or two every month, which has been awesome. So last month we had Leroy Maines. My gosh, what an amazing individual. What an awesome dude. It's not lip service. I'm not hyping it up. I'm just telling you, I feel like you're missing out. You're like, oh, the podcast is awesome. Okay, take the podcast, times it by 10. Take the Burns on Maintenance YouTube channel, times it by 10, and review, pull back the layers of all the song and dance and the bull crap and the 20-minute intros on everything. And let's just get into the meat and potatoes of it. Our first guest last month was Leroy Maines. $3 to $4 million company, brilliant borders. Dude's revolutionized everything in his company the last 3 or 4 years. Rebuilt this awesome, gargantuan, great growing business in Des Moines, Iowa, West Des Moines, Iowa. He's killing it. And I had 10 people text me and email me and DM me afterwards. Dude, that was worth my $29. If just that alone was what you got for the month, that's worth the $29. This private 1-hour Q&A that we had when everybody asked a bunch of questions to Leroy. Well, that being said, when you join the group, you get access to all the live replays. So over time, obviously, that's going to continue to compound. Our second month doing this thing, we locked in the man, the myth, the legend. You guys have been hearing me talk about him a bunch all over the place. We went to his mastermind session. There's a couple more popping up. I think Charlotte, Orlando. What else was there? Columbus, Ohio, I think February 1st or 2nd, something like that. Folks, you got to check it out. Mark Bradley ran a $50 million company in Canada, sold it in 2017, I think it was. The dude's just crushing it. Now he's going around the country teaching folks, yes, how to use LMN, but even more broadly speaking, how to grow a successful company and go from point A to point B. Anyway, that being said, been able to befriend Mark a little bit more here even lately. And I said, hey, man, we got this growing group. Would you like to pour into the guys? Not pitch or hawk LMN. It's nothing like that. It's just, hey, would you be available for a Q&A? And he said, sure thing. Absolutely love to serve, love to join. So he's going to be joining us Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on January 17th. So if you guys are listening to this real time, that is tonight, check out link, join. It's $29 a month. It's no big deal. We had to put a price on it for something. We can't just give it away for free. But I didn't want to charge $50 or $100 or $200 a month for it. I think it's worth it if you did. But for $29 a month, you get access to the Facebook community, all the free resources, all the stuff that we've got going on in there, and so much more. So I had to take a 2-minute promo because I am freaking stoked, as you guys can probably hear in my voice. Finally got some sleep after the last couple of days with very, very little sleep. And now I'm recharged. And I'm gearing up mentally. It's like when you have an interview with Trump, or when you have an interview with Patrick Bet-David, or Alex Hormozy. You want to be fresh for this thing. Well, that's how I feel right now. I'm enthusiastic, I'm excited, and I cannot wait to have a Q&A that we're going to be rocking with Mark Bradley for hour and a half Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So check out link. We'll leave a link in the description, guys. It's going to be just a really good time. All right. That being said, I want to get that little note out of the way. That's the only promo I got going on right now to keep you guys aware of. Before we go too far down the rabbit hole, I just want to say welcome to the show. Again, I don't take it for granted that we've got 30, 40, 50,000 people listening to the show every month, whatever it is. In the summer, 60, 80, 100, 120,000 people downloading the show. That's wild. That's wild for a lawn care podcast, folks. I think the only person that gets as many downloads or more than us is Paul Jamison, Green Industry Podcast. Shout out to Paul. Dude's crushing it, killing it. He's a runaway freight train 5 days a week. Kind of like the morning show. Always a good 20, 30-minute pump up. Just shout out to Paul and what he's got going on for downloads. But I don't take it for granted this time of year. You guys have, maybe less time, on a mower, obviously, or even in a plow truck. So you flip on the show and you're like, hey, who are we going to listen to? We're going to listen to Fully Unfiltered, and we're going to listen to Brian pouring to us, encourage us, motivate us, give us a sauce, whatever it is, for 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't take that for granted. So I just want to say thanks. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for the support. Always hope it helps you guys grow. My wife and I run a lawn and landscape company up in Southeast Michigan. about 40 minutes west of Detroit in the burbs. We do about 350 in revenue. Eyeballing 450, 500 this year, and looking to go to $1 million plus very, very quickly. We've got 3 full-time guys, basically a 4th full-time, part-time kid that could be full-time for us. We're going to have a 4th hire this year. 3 trucks plowing, 3+ mowers moving with 1 crew. We've got by the way, 2 mowers on order from Exmark. Super excited about having those come in. Eyeballing a purchase for a new enclosed trailer, a 8.5 by possibly an 18, but maybe a 20 from Kelly & Sons, Sure Track Trailers. We're growing. We're growing like crazy. We're going to be replacing Thunder this spring with a new truck to replace that truck's got 7-8 years on it with about 75,000 miles. Just getting old. We beat the snot out of that. You guys know Thunder. That truck has made us millions of dollars in revenue. Exceedingly grateful for that vehicle, but it's time to upgrade. And then we're also looking at maybe getting a 550 roll-off, switch and go kind of a deal this summer, fall. We'll see how that goes. And growing like crazy. Wrapping up our home build the next 4 or 5 months, wrapping up our barn build next 60 days. Things are moving crazy, spending a shit ton of money on everything right now. But we're growing. We're reinvesting every dime we have to grow this thing. And we're really excited about growing with you guys. So when we talk on this podcast about the lawns, lessons, life, and 2023 was helping you guys grow a real, authentic lawn care business, like we're doing it every single day. I'm in the thick of it. I'm growing it every day. We run a profitable company, pretty profitable company, looking to grow that profit every single day, obviously, and get better year over year. But our top line has been growing. Our bottom line is growing. The guys are happy. We got a great team. And so we're doing what we're suggesting that you guys do, that we share. And so I just wanted to let you guys know, maybe you're new to the show. Who is this guy? How did this thing pop up on my suggested feed? Or why is my friend recommending this guy? Or maybe you saw this going down the rabbit hole somewhere online. I just want to say welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the jungle. And that's the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast that we started back in 2020, spring, February, March timeframe. And since then, 2.8, 3.0 million downloads later. So it's been absolutely wild. All right, let's jump into this. I don't want this podcast to go super long today. It'll be a short and sweet one. But let's do this really quick. Number 1, I just wrote down complaints, residential, expectations, super cold, trucks idling weird, 4x4 issues. You came too early, you came too late, 1 inch of compacted layer of snow, you missed my 1-inch marker, just constant BS. Some of that was from my friend Griffin. Well, let's jump into it. Number 1, complaints. We get them, you get them. It's part of the business. When you are growing a company, anything bigger than, of course, yourself or even by yourself, apologies go a long way. Communication, specifically. I'm going to talk a lot about communication towards the tail end of this. Communication goes a long way. Complaints, what's the complaint about? Was it because we missed something? Okay, that's on us. Was it a complaint about how something was done? Well, then there's potentially a mismanaged expectation. Let me say that really quick so we don't steamroll through a bunch of stuff, because this is all going to be, I think, good stuff, because this is good stuff for me. When somebody's complaining, let's say you didn't do a sidewalk, or you didn't do a portion of a piece of property, or you snacked snow in the wrong spot, or you didn't get there at a certain time of day when people thought you'd be there. Those complaints come in, and you have to take a good hard look at, what did we promise? What does the contract say? What are we obligated to do? And then, did we do our part? Let's just assume yes. Okay, I'm giving a lot of credit, by the way, that we do yes, because nobody would ever admit that they've messed up or came short or fell off. We make mistakes all the time. There's times when we're like, no, we didn't do that, we forgot, we missed it, whatever. We'll come back, we got you, don't worry about it. We have very, very few callbacks in our company, thank the Lord. But I give my guys the benefit of the doubt. I give customers the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, hey, let's just get to the bottom of it, and that's actually really has paid big dividends for me and my company. When I say at the end of the day, hey, look, we're on the same team. It's not me versus you. We have to get the job done together, customer. What's going on? What does a winning scenario look like? What do you want done? What are you looking for? Okay, let me see if we can do that. Right? It's not me versus you. It's, hey, you've got a problem. The grass is too tall. The snow's in the driveway or in the parking lot. What can I do? What does a winning solution look like for you? What does winning look like? Well, how can I make this better? What are you looking to have done? And you just disarm people. You're like, hey, dude, I'm on your team. I'm not here to they're trying to get a little bit more out of you. You're trying to do maybe a little less, or you're trying to do what you're supposed to. They're trying to get more out of you and you don't want to do more. Like, it's just expectations, right? So maybe those complaints, you get them, I get them. One thing I'd say is don't take it super personal. It's just business. And then number two, it's okay. Like we had a lady, there was a complaint. We totally missed her driveway. Go figure. January 15th, we're getting snow, or the 12th or 13th, whatever that Friday was. We plow out her neighbor's driveway. Go figure. She's a new sign up right next to one of our existing customers. And she texted me at 8 a.m. Hey, just curious to see if you guys are rolling by. I saw them do the neighbors. I don't think anybody got us. Maybe you missed us. This is via email. And I look and I'm like, oh, crap. She was a seasonal prepay. All of her residentials are. But she never made it onto my updated list. I thought my list was updated, and we totally forgot to do it. So I emailed her back. I said, actually, it was her husband that was emailing me back and forth. She later texted me and said, thank you so much. The husband, Raphael, or I think it's Raphael, he emailed me and said, hey, just looking to get this cleared. No big deal. And I texted him. I said, emailed him back. Said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Apologies that you were not added to the list. I don't know why. I will have a guy over there in the next half hour. And we were out doing touch-ups Saturday morning. We had 6 inches of wet snow Friday, 2 to 3 inches-ish on Saturday, another 2 inches with drifting and blowing snow on Sunday. So we were out. We were making our tidy-ups and our rounds and cleaning up and tackling even more snow. But I said, hey, no problem. We got you. I apologize. It was our mistake. I was just honest. Like, hey, things happen. There was the only residential we missed. So not that big of a deal, right? But it was a legitimate complaint. Things happen. I didn't take it personal. I overwhelmingly loved on them and overwhelmingly had a good attitude and overwhelmingly just said, hey, we got you. We got you. Don't even worry about it, man. I'm so sorry. My crews will be there. We will take care of it. Now, if he said, well, I want $50 off or $100 off, I'm like, well, it's a different conversation. Hey, we'll comp you a couple free cuts or something like that in the summer, if I would even do that. But we make mistakes. People make mistakes. And unfortunately, it's just one of those situations where we didn't get the rust out until, mid-January this year. So expectations for the customers are exceedingly high because they've paid 1 month or 2 months or maybe even 2.5 months worth of prepays or flat rate monthlies, and they haven't seen anybody out just yet. So that's why we deployed on top. Frankly, I feel like 97% of people out of 100 were on top of it this snowstorm because the expectation was so high because none of us had really performed any work other than maybe a couple salt runs. So nobody wanted to drop the ball. And plus, we were getting a wallop of snow, like 6-7 inches of wet snow in a 4 or 5 hour window. That sucks. We were 24/7 for about 12 hours straight, 13 hours straight, Friday into Saturday morning. Everybody went home, took a 3-hour cat nap, and we were all back out there 8 a.m. the next morning. Which, by the way, shout out to the guys who are just pulling deep and crushing it. I said, hey, we all slept for about 8 weeks. We got rested. I said, it's about 3 days on. I need you guys to be on. Okay, you're going to get a couple naps on Saturday, a couple naps Saturday night, Sunday. But on that, we are going to crush it this weekend. Sorry, guys. That's just what the weather pattern looks like. And they all did. They performed. It was awesome. But the complaint was legitimate. And we just overwhelmingly gave them, some positive feedback. And we'll take it for what it is. And we'll just fix the problem. Residential, I do want to tackle that really quick. I don't want this podcast to go too long. But you came too early. You came too late. There's an inch of snow on the ground. Again, I have to revert back to what was the expectation? What was the agreement? What was the contract? So if you have a 2-inch trigger and somebody says, hey, there's an inch of snow on my driveway, what's going on? If I can give you a pro tip, whether you get an email or if you even get a text message, call somebody. When people start complaining, you need to fix those with phone calls. Don't fix complaints with emails and text messages back. I'm going to give you a golden nugget. I'm going to slow down and say it one more time. This has helped me. And I know this has helped me make hundreds of thousands of revenue, hundreds of thousands in profit, blah, 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 millions of dollars in revenue, millions of profit. I will just tell you, when somebody starts complaining, get on the phone. Period, case closed. Because there's voice flexion, there's tonality, there's excitement, there's enthusiasm, there's empathy. Those are not communicated. I don't care how well you are at your copy, the stuff you write on an email or on your website, on the internet. It's called copy. The copy that you write, I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're J.R. Tolkien or whatever her name is. It doesn't matter. You are not that good at writing something that makes people feel great via email. Get on the phone. Get on the phone. All you guys live on social media, myself included. You have your podcast player. You have your social media apps. You have your TikTok, your Facebook, your Instagram. The one thing that you might not know, maybe you're not privy to, especially if you guys are like, 15 to 25. Quick inside tip. Bro, your phone has this app called a phone. You can call somebody. Okay, get on the phone and talk to them. Well, I don't like talking to people. Then don't be in business. Okay, or if you want to cut grass, go work for somebody else who handles the phone while you handle the lawnmower, and put on your headphones and keep your head down and have a small world and a small life, because you have to talk to people, good days and bad days. And if there's missed expectations and somebody's complaining or upset, you have to get on the phone and handle that. I was talking to a buddy. He had an account. It was he was struggling with it, and I called him and I said, "Hey, dude, I love you, bro. We're friends, but you need to handle that expectation." He was forwarding me some stuff that we were supposed to sub and take care of. And I'm like, "That's not happening. It's minus 15 degrees. It's unsafe. It won't be done for the next 72 hours. Period. Case closed." And the person was like, "Well, that's what the contract says." And I told my buddy, I said, "I don't care what the contract says. Minus 15 degrees is unsafe. Nobody's going to be out there hitting this low priority portion of a site that we were supposed to manage." I said, "That's not happening. Period. Case closed. Safety comes first." And if they don't understand that, they can find another contractor. And my buddy who listens to the show, and he knows what I'm just saying this story for example's sake. And my buddy's like, "This is a 6-figure account." I go, and like, is that supposed to get our attention? Who cares? So what? Go talk to somebody else that way if you're going to be a rude person or a jerk. And so it was managing expectations. And I said, if I can give you a suggestion to your company, do whatever you want, but I would not email that guy back. I would not text that guy back. I'd get on the phone. And he got on the phone, handled the problem, called me back, said, actually, was able to talk him down. Not that big of a deal. He just said, "Hey, if you guys can make sure you hit it in the next 72, 96 hours, whatever, would really appreciate that. I get it." And that's it. Because so here's the thing, the expectation, right? Like, just real life example. It's 6-7 inches of snow. And this is the stuff that nobody talks about, and everybody, it's just a highlight reel, of course, always on social media. But this is the real life. Like, it was 6 inches of wet snow, and nothing was back dragging for most 9 out of 10 plows out there. 9 out of 10 plows would not be able to back drag what we had. You had the scrape forward, back drag, scrape forward, back drag at best. Praise the Lord. And I'm not exaggerating. The snow power, 1 back drag was able to get right down the pavement. Maybe 2 back drags. Praise the Lord. Biggest shout out ever for the snow power F14 plow. Not a perfect plow. I did a debrief on it last fall, comparing it to our V plows. Everybody should start with a V plow. 2nd, 3rd, 4th truck, maybe get a snow power F12, F14. But V plows are still where they're at because that down pressure from the F14 is unmatched, unsurpassed. Even better than a back blade. I'm telling you straight up, it was absolutely freaking awesome. In fact, the customer that we missed, we're talking about 7, now 8 inches of compacted, wet snow, frozen snow. It's now minus 10 degrees. Was able to back drag that driveway that we missed with about 3 good scrapes with that down pressure, with that snow power going backwards. Rob was there. He was doing the walks with Mark and Ryan, and Rob's like, "Dude, I'm not even attempting that. This is a sheet of ice." And I was able to get it down to pavement, bro, on 3 scrapes, all back drags. Like, that's freaking awesome. Okay. Shout out to the F14, which absolutely crushes it in powder snow. Struggles a little bit in terms of wet snow because it can just pick up so much snow. Obviously, you're moving thousands of pounds of snow. But the V plows, everybody needs a V plow. Your first plow should be a V plow. Pick your brand. I don't care. I'll go with what your dealer sells, obviously.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to shovel. I don't even have a snow blower. Nobody to plow me. Oh my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to LaunchpreneurAcademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The Snow Plowing Training Course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. LaunchpreneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs, plus there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit LaunchpreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
The expectation, though, talking about this, you came too late, you came too early. Our company, we do not run snowblowers from midnight to 6 a.m. That needs to be communicated to your customers. Hey, our number 1 priority is safety. Number 2 is access, right? Number 1 is priority, is safety, I'm sorry. Number 2 priority is access. Meaning we will take care of the driveways, the walks, the drives, and all this mess and get everybody opened up. And of course, shovel out man doors and front entranceways of retail and businesses and all that mess. But like the residentials, like the snow ended at 4. started at 4, ended at midnight. And we've got commercials opening up in 7 hours, retail opening up in 7, 8 hours, residential folks that want to leave at 7, 8 a.m. in the morning to go get go catch a matinee and then go get their Olive Garden breadsticks. That's fine. They got life too. But the reality is that you have to get access first. And so as we're plowing, we didn't do any of our sidewalks until the following day at about 9 a.m. Like I was saying, we got out there about 9, 10, 11 a.m. We hit our retails, we hit our couple restaurants, and then we hit residentials about 9 a.m. with that fresh 2-inch powder that came through Saturday morning in this event. But I had 1 or 2 customers text or email. They say, of course they're up at midnight. Why wouldn't they? Or 3 a.m. They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a service, and then all they do is peek out the window. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I get it. You get it. It is part of life. It is stressful. It is challenging. It doesn't matter if you have high-end clients or low-end clients. It doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter how long they've been with you. That's just the nature of people these days. They're all, very few people are very chill. I mean, you are at a red light and the light turns green and somebody doesn't go, you immediately honk your horn. I mean, people are just so wound up in life, and nobody is chill. Nobody is hang loose. It's absolutely wild to me. But you guys didn't do the sidewalks. I got 1 or 2 emails from that, and those were just actually I didn't call those people because it was I think late night. They emailed me back 11 p.m. or midnight, and emailed me and said, hey, we'll be back in the morning. Right now our priority is access for everybody. This is a major wall up. Sidewalks are a priority, but they're second on our list. Number 1 is getting everybody access to the businesses and the residential driveways, of course, right? So it's one of those things where, have you communicated that to your customer? Have you emailed your customers? Have you told them? Have you picked up the phone? I mean, you're in the truck for 9 hours, 10 hours doing a plow run. It takes 10 seconds to call a customer and say, hey, John, you're on the list. I'm going to be there in about 2 hours, just touching base with you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if something came up or somebody was texting you, right, or calling you or emailing you, it takes 2 seconds to communicate. And I think that's the big thing is during a snowstorm is everybody knows it's Armageddon. Everybody knows things are wild, but are you communicating to your team and to your customers during that time? One thing that we are absolutely, I'll just skate to the end of the conversation for a quick second. One thing that Liz and I talked even pre this snowstorm, and we're definitely doing post this snowstorm, is we're going to get all of our customers together on an email newsletter, and we're going to send them a pre-update, a during update, and a post update, and probably a post update. We're going to send them a pre-update, a during update, a post update, and a post update. Pre-update. Hey, here's what's coming through. Here's what you guys can expect. Here's our what we're foreseeing is our plan of attack. Number 2. Hey, the snowstorm is going crazy. We're doing our best to get everybody dug out. Thank you for your patience. There's nothing more. Just thank you for your patience. At the end, hey, all of our sites have been visited at least once. For some reason, something didn't get dug out. Please email us, and we will send somebody immediately to take care of something. If you have any additional needs above and beyond or something like that, I don't know what this email is going to say just yet, but this is what I'm going to say. Please email us and we will dispatch somebody immediately. 2 days later, after the event, all of our sites have been touched up and tidied up as well. If for some reason we have missed something, please email us and we would be more than happy to send somebody out to your site. Blah, 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 right? It's, hey, here's what's coming. Hey, here's what's hitting us. Hey, here's what just happened. Hey, by the way, we're all done. We're tidied up. Before we all take 5 days off and mentally reset, is there anything else last minute that we missed? Did we miss a door? Did we miss a drive? Did we smoke your sod and handle the fact that we're not going to fix that till April or May? Right? Like you smoke somebody's sod, you shave off a portion of their front of their driveway. It's okay to say, hey, smoke that. 2 options. I can leave it there, or 2, just take it back and we'll get a little bit of seed and some compost and some straw and we'll take care of that in the spring. Well, I want it fixed now. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not happening. By the way, I will just tell you guys, like, I don't know when this kind of is like a come of age thing, but you can't let people boss you around in life. I don't know what flipped. I think I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired and being like pushed around, or I just put my foot down. I don't know the day, but the whole, like, the louder you bark, the more I will jump kind of stuff is beyond gone. I don't know if that was an income thing. I don't know if that was I don't care anymore thing. I don't know if that's just me getting old and getting crabbier thing. I hear Caleb Allman talk about that on his podcast sometimes. Kid Contractor podcast cracks me up. It's the truth. But the people that bark the loudest literally go to the bottom of the list. I'm just telling you. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. It's just the truth. Like, the more you're going to complain, unless you're paying a absolute 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x premium, bro, you can get in line just like everybody else. By the way, I don't expect that. I don't tell people. My contractors build my barn. I get sloppy seconds with anything that's coming down the pike. I don't get first dibs because I'm building a barn and a house. These guys will say, we'll fit you in when we get time. Rain days, half days, maybe a Saturday day, until we actually get our time on the actual schedule and pecking order, which could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks out. You know, it kind of stinks, but at the same point, I talk to Liz sometimes about this because we wanted to be in the barn yesterday. And unless somebody's going to be able to open or get us done immediately, and we're going to pay 10 times the amount because, you know, money talks, then they don't care. And neither do I. You'll get done in the appropriate window. Another thing, you came too early. I don't really think, unless the person's like, you came too early, like there wasn't enough snowfall yet for an actual charge. Well, then don't come until there's 2 inches. But maybe it's like you came too early in the morning, 3, 4, 5 a.m., banging the plow out there. Again, that's managing expectations. And it's okay to talk to a customer when they sign up and say, hey, look, we come between the hours of this and this. We're done within 12 hours typically. We will be banging the plow. We won't run the snow blowers between 12 and 6, but we will come back out there at 6:01. Well, don't say that, but first thing in the morning, because 6:02, they're going to be calling you. But we'll be able to tackle the walkways. If that's what they mean by coming too early or late night hours. That's just the truth. Well, you guys can shovel it. No, we're not. I didn't spend $80,000 on a truck and a plow and $1,000 to $10,000 on a snow blower to an ATV to a $20,000 SR mag, right? To go shovel anything that I don't want to. It's not how it works. Okay, so a lot of the, so many of us talk about this, but like Gen Xers and the boomers, most of the Gen Xers, their expectations are absolutely ridiculous. You want to talk to them about, and if you're one of these, I love you. Don't take it personal. But you want to talk about the most entitled, bratty age group demographic in the world right now. Unfreaking believable. Millennials, they say like we don't want to work, we're lazy. Yeah, sure. But we're not entitled brats. We might not want to work and might be a little bit ambitiously lazy, I like to call it. We're not lazy. We just don't want to work too hard. We just don't want to work any harder than we have to. Okay, we're very industrious. We're very robust individuals. But the Gen Xers, they all feel like they're deserved everything and they want to be at the top of everything and first and done first. And if you don't do it, and if you don't, I bark and you yelp or whatever the saying is, or I snap my fingers and you jump, then I'm going to escalate you or fire you or cancel you. Bro, peace out, Cub Scout. Good luck with that. Doesn't work. Not today. Hasn't worked for a long time. Definitely doesn't work post-COVID. Okay. All the Karen attitude, that does not work. And if you're still bending over to people like that, I will just tell you, you need to stop bending over, bro. That's not going to pay you any kind of dividend. It's not a good way to operate your life, okay? Let's keep going. This is unfiltered. I don't care. This is how I feel. I'm charged up. I got 7-8 hours of sleep. Fullerton's never been more wired. I can go from now through spring. Let's go. There's a 1-inch compacted layer from the plow. That's not from the plow. Usually that's hard pack for the tires. If you plow forward and then plow backwards, you should be able to scrape off anything off the ground. But again, it's manage expectations, right? If there is a hard pack or compact or a sheet of ice, hey, no problem. For $30, build at the time with a charge card on file. I'm charging you as I'm leaving, or that night when I get home and I got my route sheet list. We can put down a bag of ice melt, $30 a bag applied. Pick your hot pink, get your Tilson brands, your JetBlue, pick your thing, pick your poison. And no problem. We'll get this down to pavement. This stuff works to -5 degrees real feel. I can put down a bag after a visit. Well, your plow is supposed to get down to the ground. No, it doesn't. Your snowblower doesn't. Your 2-stage snowblower doesn't. Nothing does besides a shovel. Again, you don't want to shovel. I don't want to shovel. This is what we do. Okay, so if you want me to get out there and salt sling with Bedell, a little Bedell bucket, get the salt chicken feed out there and put some ice melt down on your walkway and your driveway, no problem. Love to. You want it down to the pavement wet. And see, that's the thing, folks. Like, you have your driveways to your left and to your right of the neighbor. Theirs are down to the ground wet. And the person that paid you $1,000 has a sheet of ice driveway. And you're like, right, dude, here's the expectation. Those people cleaned off their driveway, A, once during the storm, or B, twice after the storm. and they put down, a bag of bulk salt that they got at your local grocery store for $4, a little yellow bag from the gas station, or they threw down ice melt once, if not twice. But your customer didn't see that. All they see is wet driveway. That, 50-year-old Gen Xer went out there twice and threw ice melt down. He's a little bit industrious, a little bit resourceful, right? But then your customer's like, what the hell's going on with ours? Look, dude, it's just, and again, I'm tough love and just getting to the, the bullet points here. But you just have to manage that expectation. Hey, we can get it down to the ground. It's not a big deal to wet cement. It's just going to take a bag of ice melt. And of course, if we're there within a couple hours and it's, 30 degrees and sunny that next following afternoon, it'll get down to wet pavement as well. But if you, don't want that, if you want it to wet pavement every single time, 2 hours after it snows, then you need to do your own driveway. But you have a service. It's no different than somebody saying, well, I'm going to hire you to cut my grass. I want it done on Friday. Doesn't work like that. It's Wednesday. Doesn't work like that. It's Tuesday. It's whatever day I say that fits my business, right? Like we have a laundry service. I don't get to tell them arguably what day of the week I get or when my clothes get back. I mean, if I sign up and agree to their terms, that's the terms. I don't get to say, hey, I dropped my clothes off Thursday. I get them back, the following Monday. And I say, no, I want it Thursday and I get it back Friday. They're going to go, that's not how this works. Then we're not the right service for you. Go find a different service, right? It's a lot of this is, I don't even want to say unrealistic expectations. It's just there's a dissonance between what's being promised and what's being expected, what's being paid for and what's being provided or what's expected to be provided. One of our HOAs that we have had our second year now with emailed me, the property management company said, hey, you guys didn't do the, I said, hey, the one place, this was it. We couldn't run the four-wheeler because it's minus 15 degrees. I'm not putting my guys out there when it's minus 15 degrees for 3 days. And so he said, hey, the HO will get done on Wednesday or Thursday. And we'll be able to tackle that sidewalk in the meantime. It's not getting done. It's just a safety hazard. We don't have a cab machine. Apologies, but it's a low priority in terms of everything else is done, but that's not going to get done until Wednesday or Thursday. And then they manage a couple HOAs. We do the work for them. And she said, what about the other one? And I said, well, we don't do the walks there. So we haven't done the walks. We didn't do the walks last year. Didn't sign on to do the walks this year. It's on our SOW scope of work. And she said, a map. Well, these are the maps that we have for the HOA. Can you please confirm? I confirmed back. I said, yeah, confirm. We don't do the walks here. If you'd like to, it'd be $250 to take care of those per event. We're talking quite a bit of walks. And I said, yeah, no problem. We can do it. Literally, we can do it. I'm game, positive attitude, can do attitude. Let's go for it. Blah, blah, blah. It's not in the contract, wasn't in the contract, wasn't worded in the contract. I pulled up the contract to double check, obviously. Not in there. So I'm not going to give away the farm. I'm not going to mow your lawn anymore or hit that spot in your beds with weeds or weed killer or trim it down. You're not getting free work or free. And this does not mean not saying don't be a giver, don't go above and beyond, don't go the extra mile. I've talked about this on other shows. But it's just, I'm not going to go plow out a driveway or hit another thing or put another bag of ice melt down or whatever because you are loud or complaining or want a little extra, want a little bit more. I'll go above and beyond. Hey, can you guys clear out that loading dock spot where we have a delivery coming? Yeah, dude, for sure. We got you. I got you. No problem. We got your back. But if somebody's like, hey, we have another site next door. Can you guys hit it? Like, just do a couple scrapes and throw down a bag of ice melt. Really appreciate that. No problem. $150, $30 a bag applied. Sidewalk shovel, $45. What? We got you. It's just the expectations have to be managed. They have to be set, and the expectations have to be managed, right? And that's okay to remind people, hey, you're not paying for that. Hey, we'd love to do that, but you need to pay for this, right? And a lot of that rust gets shaken out the first snowstorm. And there is some element, right, playing devil's advocate, that there was a huge high expectation. We had a great snowstorm, great run. These are just some really good conversations and topics that some of you guys have had. But these are just, the expectations were super high, right, for a lot of folks because there's been no snow in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And a lot of people have prepaid a lot of money for residential or flat rate monthly for 2 months and then not seen anything for 10 weeks. And so some of these accounts are $2,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, $250,000 deep in payments and haven't seen an ounce of service other than like 3 salt runs for quite a few of us across the country, right? So the barking and the complaining is probably at a pretty high level. One, because it's the first event. Everybody, forgets how to operate in life. But I mean, driving in it, working in it, plowing it, shoveling it. But number two, again, they've paid quite a bit of a premium. So they're almost feeling entitled to 110% worth of service. And I'm willing to give 105%, of course. But you do have to put your foot down and have hard boundaries between not giving them 110% when they only paid for 100%. Does that make some sense? So, again, it just comes down to communication. It just comes down to expectations. It does with everything in life. Snow is a Armageddon. The sky is falling. You got a 6, 8, 10 hour window. Same thing with your guys, little different aspect of this, but maybe your guys were like, man, we got done plowing and it's a 24-hour snowstorm or something. And they're like, I'm going to go home for 8 hours and go get some sleep. And you're like, actually, bro, you're going to go home and get 4 hours of sleep. And I need you back here because we have tidy ups, touch ups, and all these things open up in 5 hours. So go get a couple hours of sleep, but I need you back. Or go take a nap in the office. And you hire somebody like, yeah, dude, I'm done. I'm done for the weekend. I'll be back on Monday. And it's like, Friday at midnight or Saturday at like 7 a.m. You're like, what? Like, yeah, dude, I'm done. I got, my family's got a soccer game I got to take my daughter to on Saturday. Hey, just FYI, bro, you're not taking your freaking kid to soccer that day. The wifey's doing that. You have a job. This is your job. And if this isn't communicated, and I know I'm sounding like a tough guy, and I'll do everything I can to bend over backwards to help make you able to get to your daughter's soccer game. But this is the business that you signed up for. This is the job you signed up for. Maybe you can take an hour or two window, go take your daughter to practice, come back. That's fine. Like, totally cool. I'm down to work with you that way because you can't just strong arm everybody, obviously. But if you think you're taking the whole day off when we have a major snow emergency, we're talking snow, we're talking hardcore right now. Like, this is what we do. And that means, I don't care if you're a sidewalk shovel guy to the owner, everybody's pitching in to get the job done. There is no, well, that guy's been here, he gets paid more, or it's your company, you're the owner, of course you're going to be out 24/7. No way. Dude, you've been salaried for 10 weeks, you haven't worked at all, right? And then you're going to say, hey, I got a family birthday, or we got something going on. Nope, not anymore. That's canceled, or you don't work here anymore. Okay, I'll work with you, but don't give me that kind of crap. And I got people that are like, man, how do you get your people to come in? I go, how do you get your guys to never call off? How do you get your guys to always show up? And everybody's got a good attitude. And everybody's got a esprit de corps. And everybody's got this all for one and one for all. And what do you do? And it's, we got a small company, but dude, this is what I tell my guys. I bake this into them in May, in June, in July, in August. Hey, here's how winter goes, right? Liz and I were going to go out of town for a vacation. We canceled the whole vacation 9 days ago because we were supposed to get like 5 snow events in the next 7 days. Canceled everything, rebooked everything for 2 weeks later. I said, 1 snow event, I'm out of here. You guys can handle it. 2 snow events or a major, 14-inch snow event. Maybe I'll fly back for the day, $300 from Orlando. Not a big deal. Literally not a big deal. I'll fly back for 1 day. Liz can handle the kids. She knows that. I know that. We've talked about, I managed my wife's expectations. She's managed my expectations. What are we expecting from each other during this? This is our business. What are we looking to do? Hey, this is what we agreed on. Okay, rock and roll. Now it was called for like 5 events in like a 7-day window. I'm like, hey, 2 weeks from now, it doesn't make any difference. Called up Delta, called up the Orlando resort at Disney. Everything was exchangeable or able to be rebooked for no additional cost, no cancellation fees, no money lost. I'm like, hey, 2 weeks from now, maybe we get another 10-day weather pattern where, whether it's 1 snow event or maybe all the weather's in the 30s and 40s and we dodge a bullet. No big deal. Do you mind if we just rebook in 2 weeks? Liz goes, yeah, it kind of sucks. I would have liked to went out of town, but I get it. If we would have had a day or at least 1 or 2 trainings, 1 or 2 events under our belt, I would have let the guys, sail through all of this. But I'm not going to throw my guys to the wolves. So I said, let's rebook all this in 2 weeks. Let's rock this snowstorm, help take care of all the customers, manage all the expectations, take care of everybody. And that's what we did, right? So your employees, this kind of stuff, like they can go out of town too. But I say all the time, my company, only 1 guy can leave at a time in the winter. We need 3 out of 4 guys here. I don't care if you have a wedding that your best man is in and you're the best man. And I don't care if this other guy's got an anniversary and he's taking his wife to Paris to propose. I don't even know. I don't even care. That's fine. You guys pick the same date. One of you guys are getting fired. This doesn't work that way. Figure out your dates. You're a mature team. You're all adults. You're over 18. You can figure this out, cover shifts and figure it out. And I'm not being tough guy. I'm just telling you, like, this is what my guys know this. My guys tell me to go away. They tell me to go. They said, dude, we got this. What are you talking about? They know I work hard. I commit to them, and they're working hard and they commit to me. And that's called, it's not top down in my company. I go, hey guys, do you mind if Liz and I dip? I ask for permission. Brian, you own the company. You can do whatever you want. It's respect. It's leadership. It's servant leadership. You know what I mean? They don't work for me. I work for them. And I say, do you guys mind if I get out of town for about 10 days? Liz and I have had a long 3 months. We could use a week. Can you guys handle it? Brian, get out of here. We got you. 3 of the different my buddies that sub or I sub for them. They're like, we got your back. We got you covered. Don't even worry about it. And I do the same thing for them. Right? So managing expectations, communication, just the constant bullcrap is what this guy Griffin said. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit more BS. An apology tour a little bit sometimes in the winter. If you do a good job, you shouldn't have to apologize. But even if somebody complains and it's not really worth the juice worth the squeeze, or it's not worth the fight, right? It's okay to apologize and just hear somebody out. It's good people skills. Hey man, no problem. Appreciate you bringing that to my attention. We'll handle it next time. Not a big deal. One of our sites that we take care of, they have a kind of like a refill station. They have it looks like a train station, like old platform. They have a refill station, and they had snow all over the station. The platform. I'm trying to give the company away, where they refill things, and it was all kind of covered in snow and ice, and they had this like janky ass shovel from 10 years ago. He goes, "This is what they give me to clean this whole loading dock thing." And I said, "Dude, here, take one of my shovels." Give him one of the Earthwave ones, and it's like $60 shovel. He's like, "Dude, for real?" I go, "I got you." He goes, "Dude, I'm definitely gonna, man, I'm gonna hook you up next time you come through here, and I'm definitely gonna tell the manager that you're just such a good dude, man." He goes, "Like, you're the best guy that we've ever had take care of our parking lots ever." And actually, Andrew Stormy subs out some of the salt runs for me there. And I'm like, "Dude, it's no big deal." But I'm going above and beyond, just trying to, like, a new account, take care of the guy. Another company that we take care of, they have some rear doors that are just really hard to manage, and they get a lot of drifting snow. And a lady asked me, she goes, "Hey, can you guys throw down some more salt back there?" I'm like, "Well, we already did." But I'm like, "Absolutely no big deal." I'm like, "Hey, actually, Elizabeth, what I can do for you, what if I just gave you 2 extra bags of ice melt? Next time me or one of my guys drive by, we'll throw them in your back door. If you guys want to throw that down, in addition to what we do, we'll still manage it, of course. But you got a lot of deliveries, a lot of folks in and out of that door, those 2 bay doors for your business. I'll leave a couple bags of ice melt." Dude, hot pink is what? 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 bucks a bag. Frankly, I don't even know. I picked up a pal's like $450. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's $20. It's a goodwill gesture to secure a $13,000 account. What's a shovel to you? What's an ice melt to you? When it's catastrophe, like snow, going above and beyond and telling people that you got your back, if you can just wait a minute, I'll be there for you, goes such a long way, right? It's all about managing expectations. And frankly, don't overpromise either. If you can't get to somebody in 2 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours, or do a good job, or you don't have the right equipment for something, and don't overcommit. The last thing I'll say, don't overcommit with anything with snow. Okay. We could talk about this probably for hours, man, hours more. Apologies go a long way. Hey man, I got you. I was talking to Sam Rankin at Outdoor. We DM quite a bit on Instagram. He's always asking me questions, trying to figure this thing out. It's funny right there. And we were DMing, and I said, he said production manager, like he was hiring somebody. And I said, yes, that's kind of the role I'm in right now, doing a little of this, a little of that. I said, I feel like I'm a chief apology officer and good maker, or something like that. I said, I'm an apology giver and a good maker. Like, hey, we'll make good on that. Hey, man, I'll apologize. We'll make up for that. We'll make good on that. And it's not like my guys are dropping the ball or anything like that. Real talk. Like, we're doing 95 out of 100. I'm really proud of our team. But anytime there is something like that, I'm like, I don't throw my guys under the bus. I just say, hey, we'll make that right. We're good for it. We'll take care of it. We'll fix it. We got you, whatever. Right? Like, don't be like the restaurant industry. My wife can hear me recording this podcast. Hopefully she doesn't burst in the door. But hopefully it's not like the restaurant industry where your server comes out and they forgot something or they messed up your order and you can just blame the kitchen, right? And then what is the kitchen? The kitchen never gets this, save face. but the server does, right? So if your food comes running out, don't blame the kitchen, right? I mean, like that's what if you've ever heard, oh, the kitchen's slow, or the kitchen's this, or the kitchen's that, or the kitchen forgot, or the kitchen's been burning food, or the kitchen messed up, or the kitchen punched it in wrong, bro. Inside baseball, 95 out of 100 times your server messed up. You guys know that? So don't be like your server blaming the kitchen, okay? When you mix expectations, communicate. I apologize. We'll make good on it. Actually, Liz and I were literally out to eat, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and the girl came out and she goes, I'm so sorry. I literally forgot to put that in, and I'm so sorry. And Liz goes, that's okay. She goes, you're the first server that's actually like ever admitted something like that. She goes, yeah. She goes, literally, this is exactly what she goes, yeah, most people just blame the kitchen, but she goes, they work so hard. She goes, I don't want to blame them. They do a good job. She goes, it was my fault. I got distracted. And we're like, hey, no big deal. We, and whatever we ordered came out 2 minutes later as an appetizer or something. So don't blame the kitchen. Take responsibility. Same thing. Don't blame your guys. Don't blame the company. Don't blame the crew. Don't blame the shovel crew. Don't blame the salt guys. Don't blame your sub. Don't blame your property management company. Dude, just take ownership. It's all going to work out. It is exhausting. It does get old. It will wear you down if you let it. But if you know that it's just part of the business, and I'm managing your expectation right now as you're listening to this. If you're doing snow or getting in the snow, what is this whole podcast about? It's like Inception over here. I'm helping you manage your expectations as you guys tackle snow. Okay. That's what I got for you in today's podcast. Appreciate you guys listening in. Love you as always. Keep the hammer down. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are two things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.